the charge as shambolic. We have more on this, including a hearing from the family of Ahmed Suale. Stay with us. Also, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, announces the revocation of some small-scale licenses issued after December 7, 2024, as a step in tackling illegal mining. Way to go? That's a question we're asking tonight. Plus, massive shake-up in the top hierarchy of the Ghana Police Service as Inspector General of Police Christian Tete Yohono makes significant command changes. We'll tell you all about it and what this could mean for the service going forward. And as always, we have eyes on what's happening as well in parts of Bawku earlier today and yesterday as well. We've got details for you. Stay with us here on Ghana Tonight, because we have a correspondent on the ground. A screen analyst going to be joining us. The Bawku Central Member of Parliament, the Majority Leader, Member of Parliament for the Bawku Central constituency, is also going to be speaking on this particular one here on Ghana Tonight. So stay with us, and we'll get some detail on the situation on the ground as we speak, as we hear from Mahama Yarega shortly. But as we'll see on a particular part of the conversation, let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Let's settle for Ghana Breeze.
A 35-year-old businessman Daniel Owusu Kranting has been remanded by the Medina District Court for the murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale, who was killed in 2019. Prosecution indicated that the suspect sold the photographs of Suale to MP for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapong. Lawyer for the accused, Kofi Essil Hackman, describes the charges against his client as frivolous.
What transpired is that the police hurriedly put a charge sheet together. A charge sheet on an offense of murder. First, we're talking about abatement. Today, we sprung up with a surprise charge sheet with one count of murder, and they paid the court to remand our client. They have nothing on our client. It's just a multitude of suspicions and allegations and hearsays.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa says 7 out of 9 forest reserves that were hitherto taken over by illegal miners have been recovered. According to him, efforts are underway to recover the remaining 2.
We announced at the beginning, when I took office, I went to Parliament and announced that 9 of our forest reserves were completely taken over by thugs who are destroying our forest. I'm proud to tell you, with the cooperation of the security agencies, the military, we have taken back 7 of these 9 forest reserves, and we are working very hard to make sure that the other 2 is completely also.
The Majority Leader and MP for Bawku Central, Mahama Yarega, has condemned the conduct of the military detachments in Bawku concerning the brutalities on the people of Bawku after the death of a soldier on Monday. In a statement on the floor of Parliament, the MP says innocent people are being beaten and appealed to the soldiers to halt the brutalities.
I will never condone the killing of anyone, especially a soldier who has left his family and has come to help us establish law and order in the Bawku area. And I've urged the law enforcement agencies, the military, the police, work with the community leaders to try and investigate and identify the person behind this unwarranted, gruesome exercise.
The Judicial Service has identified alternative dispute resolution ADR to be a valuable tool for businesses in Ghana to resolve disputes efficiently and maintain positive business relationships. The judge in charge of ADR, Justice Angelina Mensah-Humia, has been speaking at the launch of the 2025 ADR Week in Kumasi.
We would emphasize that members of the business community use ADR to resolve their disputes efficiently, fast, so they can go back and attend to their respective businesses. ADR has been mainstreamed into the justice delivery system. And so we have presently 138 courts connected to ADR. By the close of the year, we would add close to 100 courts.
Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central, Honorable Patrick Boama, believes the senior men's national team must step up their game, given the wealth of talent at their disposal. Ghana has struggled in recent months, failing to win any of their last 6 matches and missing out on qualification for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, and the MP believes the players need to raise their commitment levels to change their fortunes.
And look at the game time they have in Europe. Bournemouth, Semenyo, Sulemana in Southampton, Partey is a regular at Arsenal, and Jordan Ayew at Leicester, Kudus at West Ham. They are all top-class players, but when they come here, we don't see the commitment from them. And that is what hurts a lot of Ghanaians.
There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. And as always, we're live on 3FM 92.7. It's probably brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, and Kale Charcoal Toothpaste, Happy Smile. Coming up next on Ghana Tonight, massive shakeup in the top brass of the Ghana Police Service as Inspector General of Police Christian Tete Yohonu makes significant command changes. We'll tell you about it and what exactly this could mean going forward into the Ghana Police Service's operational direction, and also how the new IGP intends to run the administration of, or his turn-up for the next couple of years ahead of him. Now, stay with us on this. And this is one that already there's been some changes to it, to that letter that communicated the announcement of these persons earlier today. The Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohonu, has made some significant command changes in the Ghana Police Service. The command changes, we understand, aimed at ensuring effective management and operational control of the Ghana Police Service. And this was contained in a statement that was issued earlier today and signed by Grace Ansah-Krofi, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Director of Public Affairs in there. But just stay with me. Let me just run through the list. The number of them, almost 31. In fact, the list we count, the names we counted 31 of them. But there's been a change to one, and that happens to be the first person on the list. The first person on the list, COP Mrs. Mamiya Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. This new assignment, as was communicated earlier today, we understand has changed. We have a letter to that effect coming through from the presidency on a matter of a reassignment of duties of Mamiya Tiwaa Addo-Danquah, reassigned from their current position to the Ministry of the Interior. So we'll get into the details of that shortly, because that has also generated some reactions as well, as now she has been reassigned. In fact, this letter came through just a little over an hour ago as a technical advisor to the Honorable Minister of the Interior, Mohammed Muntaka Mubarak. So that's Mamiya Tiwaa Addo-Danquah's new assignment. But earlier today, she was top on the list of the new Police Management Board, the POMAP board. Next to her, COP Mrs. Paul Manley Awini, and he has been reassigned to the service workshop here in the Greater Accra region, and previously he was in charge of the human resource and police development at the headquarters. Now, COP Daniel Kwame Efriye, Director General, also now giving another position in there, and the COP, Mr. Michael Nketia Frimpong, Director General, Finance now, and also COP Sumadu Ochre Dakon, and now reassigned as Director General. There's the PIPS, that's the Police Professional Services Board, and also the Idi Lansa Seidu, Director General Welfare, also now on the Police Management Board, and COP Mrs. Faustina A.K. Andokofi, now the Commandant, and Winneba also on the Police Management Board now, and COP Joseph Oklu Jamira. All these persons now on the new Police Management Board. There is no clear indication of the number of persons in the previous Police Management Board who were retained by COP Christian Tete-Yohuno. That is the previous IGP's board. But these, we understand, are fresh persons on the board as we speak. And a number of them, in fact, also representing all the police operational regions also have representatives on this particular board, as we are saying, the Western North region, the Central region also, and Savannah region, all in there. And the Director General of Operations you see as well. But let's bring in Dr. Victor Doke. He's a security analyst and a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center. He's been watching the reactions to this list as it came through earlier today. Dr. Doke, appreciate your time. First off, I want to find out from you how this new Police Management Board, from your own analysis, communicates the kind of direction that the new IGP wants to take in terms of managing the Ghana Police Service. Doc.
Right. Thank you very much, Alfred. So I think, one, with regards to what he has done is also to exhibit or clearly show that he also has the authority as the IGP to make some internal changes. And rightly so, he's done that. Now, let's not forget he was a deputy IGP for some time. So he worked closely with these ladies and gentlemen and the force, the service, sorry. Now, so you would be best assured that now that he's taken over realms of, in charge of the service, he would like to put people he thinks are capable of doing A, B, and C in some positions where he deems, fit as per what he has seen or observed over the years, having worked with them. Now, irrespective of that, he didn't do the appointments, previously with regards to where those, senior officers were. Now he has come in and he's sort of like changed a couple of things to suit his objective. So with regards to that, now what exactly is he pointing out to do? I'm juxtaposing this with his statement at his swearing in that he wants to ensure that professionalism and then the ethics is upheld. So you take, for example, the new CID force there. You would best be assured. I spoke to a couple of friends who are also into security, and they were like, she's a very good officer and best fit for that position. So the IGP has now exhibited the aspect where he wants to align the service with regards to what the officers he has shuffled or appointed to certain key positions, align them to what the mandate of the service, professionalism, and then and enhance the ethics of the service. So I think by and large, he's hoping to have a very collaborative engagement going forward with these new senior officers in these positions. By and large, the aspect of them exhibiting their mandate to the service and to the people that for which they are in that capacity will also be, exhibited by and large in the coming days, months, and then we'll see keenly, be following keenly as to what happens in regards to the other regions as well.
I see, and I mentioned Tiwaa Addo-Danquah and the new portfolio, even though this list that was earlier put out as the new police management board had her name as #1. Just few hours ago, we got this information of her reassignment as technical director to the Minister of the Interior, Mohammed Mutaka Mubarak. How did that strike you?
Well, when I saw the list in the morning and I saw Madam Tiwaa's name there, I was of the view that, okay, well, she'll be reassigned. But then, having to hear this again, then it means one would definitely think that they want to have Mami Tiwaa Addo close by in terms of monitoring her. Now, not that she's up to anything untoward, but then with her expertise, if I should put it that way. Now, you're best assured that the Interior Minister wants to have her close by and then offer some expertise, technical expertise in that regard. But then the question is, can she offer the technical expertise wherever she is in the headquarters there? That's another issue we are looking into. But to reassign her the Ministry of Interior, that technical position, you are best to conclude that there is some agenda with regards to not directly engaging her in the headquarters, but then outside the headquarters, because we know what Madam Tiwaa did with regards to her role, not only at the headquarters, but also her subsequent role as Yoko boss. So you are best assured that with all these experiences, well, she can give some expertise to the minister as deemed fit. But as to whether this position is likely to will make her very active in the sense that with regards to she being at the headquarters was seen as very active. Now with the interior position, whether she's going to be active or not, we are yet to see. But it all boils down to the fact that her engagement with the past Israel government also may have triggered this change in the position and where she finds herself in right now.
And her last appearance in any public event was what we are showing on the screen right now, when the new IGP was going to be sworn in at the presidency. She was seen in very close proximity with the new IGP, and there is undeniable information as to how close they've worked together and the close relationship they've had over the period. So that's Tiwaa Addo-Danquah there. Let's take a look at that.
Congratulations.
Doctor, you talk about maybe there is a certain direction or personal direction that the presidency also has probably for the ministry as well, because this letter of reassignment came from the presidency, and I know you've seen this. The details of it we're going to put on the screen right now. This is what came through just a couple of hours ago from the office of the president. This reassignment of duties to Tiwaa Addo-Danquah, right, to formally convey the directive of His Excellency the President regarding her reassignment. In line with this directive, you, Tiwaa Addo-Danquah, hereby reassigned from your current position to the Ministry of Interior, where you will serve as a technical advisor to the Honorable Minister. This reassignment takes immediate effect, and you are expected to liaise, and Dr. Doke, take note of these words, liaise with the relevant authorities to ensure a smooth transition into your new role. So her portfolio there is a technical advisor to the minister. By extension, the presidency recognizes and deeply appreciates her unwavering dedication, professionalism, invaluable contribution to the nation, and it's the president's firm belief that her expertise and commitment will continue to serve the country effectively in her new capacity. So this is the wording of this letter of reassignment of the duties. What does that tell you?
Well, Alfred, we can play scenario game here. Now, what if scenario one, this reassignment is actually to let her be under the watch of the Ministry of Interior? We know the Ministry of Interior stands for the internal security of the country. Now, scenario two, are we saying there aren't technical persons in the Ministry of Interior who can offer the insights, okay, to the minister, other than the senior officer, Tiwaa? There are. So my take is one, either the presidency has acknowledged the fact that the said senior officer has played roles in the previous government, and we've known, the associations with regards to some elites with in the past government and all of that. You are best assured that when it comes to internal security, any personality who has this depth of knowledge and association with the elite and even the security system would definitely be called upon, i.e., either to be some sort of guidance, and they put it rightly in a very word technical position. Now, it is all to sort of like have her in the presence and the eyesight for us to see that she's present here. Now, she could also be at the headquarters and performing her role, but then the presidency does not want her anywhere at the headquarters. Now, why so is what we are yet to find out, because then the IGP makes changes and then a letter comes from the presidency reassigning her to the Ministry of Interior. Why not any other ministry, okay, in relation to security, but the Ministry of Interior offering technical advice and liaise with everybody for her to gel into her role?
Well, maybe the thinking is that that's the mother ministry of the Ghana Police Service, is it not? The Ministry of Interior has operational jurisdiction over the Ghana Police Service, isn't it?
Exactly so. Exactly so. But then the question I asked was, why can't she be at the headquarters offering the same capacity?
Okay.
You understand? But why would she have to be reassigned entirely? The reassignment from the position she was given earlier on to the Ministry of Interior as a technical advisor. So I think there is a clear picture the presidency wants to post. That is, have the said senior officer in the midst of or under the authority directly, where the Minister of Interior would have every opportunity to work with her closely, and then also talk about engagements and then this offering of technical advice, they put it in that way. But I think there are a lot of questions that need to be answered as to how this issues came about or reassignment come about.
Well, Dr. Addo-Danquah, and I wanted to stay with me because the next issue we're going to talk about also is a matter of security as well. But what we do know is that some of these, the names on the new police management board, we're going to put out on the screen, a number of them were also retained, who were part of the police management board during the era of Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, and COP and Kofi was on Dr. George Akufo-Dampare's police management board. She also is on this new list as we have it. Also, COP and Winley was on the Dr. Dampare's, that's POMAP, also on this list. COP Frimpong, also on this list. And then the new CID boss, COP Suraj, was also on the previous police management board. She's been also retained. COP Free as well, all in there. And so this is one that also it gives a certain clear direction as to what the new IGP wants to do going forward. But let's go into the next issue. Majority Leader, that's coming up next show on Ghana Tonight. Majority Leader and Member of Parliament for the Bawku Central, member of that's constituency, and some other members of parliament condemned the military brutalities in Bawku. That's coming up next. Amayarga spoke earlier today in parliament. Let's take a listen to him on exactly his account of the incident earlier today.
I will never condone the killing of anyone, especially a soldier who has left his family and has come to help us establish law and order in the Bawku area. And I've urged the law enforcement agencies, the military, the police, to work with the community leaders to try and investigate and identify the person behind this unwarranted gruesome exercise. It is equally not right for the soldiers since last night to invade homes, meeting places, market, where market women are going about their daily chores and beating up everybody, assaulting, injuring women, old men, children, anybody who hasn't run away and is still in the town is being beaten up by the soldiers. So, Speaker, I condemn in no uncertain terms the conduct of the military detachment there. I want to bring the full weight of this House behind a plea to them to stop what they are doing immediately. And I urge the military high command to rein in their men and officers to stop the brutality that is currently ongoing.
Yesterday evening, as I was saying, Mr. Speaker, they went almost into the Pusga district capital, went even into a house, beat an old man, and broke his leg. Some of these things, much as we empathize with the army, and let me say my condolences to the bereaved family, it doesn't warrant these things that are being done by the rest that may be fighting for justice or for some kind of empathy for their colleague who has passed.
Mr. Speaker, it's important that we remind the Ghana Armed Forces, particularly the military, that they are not at war with citizens of Ghana. And they must also understand that the reasons why the military is because it requires that.
So some members of parliament, persons who suffered brutalities at the hands of the military, but the information that we had, these alleged military brutalities inflicted on civilians in Bawku on the night of Tuesday, that's 18th March 2025, that's yesterday, describing the actions of the military as unacceptable. You hear the members of parliament, and there, these are some of the pictures are correspondent on the ground, secured for us, and your discretion advice on this one, but it clearly indicates the concern that has been raised over the period about what can be done to address this continuous occurrence of military brutalities as reported. And the members of parliament, in fact led by the majority leader, has indicated they are going to institute some measures in place and also get the minister to come in to answer questions on this particular incident. But this is not the first time. Just do a quick recall, maybe just some last 4 years, we've seen a number of instances, some of them. In Wa, for instance, in June 2021, soldiers brutalized civilians over a missing mobile phone of one of their colleagues. 86 soldiers were involved, said to have been punished. We don't know the details of the punishment as yet. In March 2023, Soldiers were reported to have brutalized residents of Tiwaa and that's in Nashaman after the killing of a 22-year-old soldier from the Ghana Armed Forces Band as well. Then this is information that is public, you can find. In October 2023, the soldiers were reported to have ransacked homes and brutalized residents of Garu in response to an earlier attack on national security operatives. In February this year, residents of Wale alleged that military brutality in the wake of the Bawku conflict. And then now we're talking about this one. Certainly raises fundamental concerns. Dr. Doke, and then recounting these instances and hearing the MPs lament about this that has been happening continuously, what, in your view, should be the approach this time around to send a strong message that this cannot continue?
Now, with regards to all the incidents that have happened over from 2021, 2023, and then till now, it sends the signal that, one, I think the modalities or the approach with regards to finding perpetrators, okay, those who met out legalities with regards to either killing or harming our men in uniform is what lacking. Now, the aspect of the military, the men in uniform going in and then picking up people randomly, and then in the situation where you find people brutalized and then their human rights violated, it's also not good. Now, not to justify any wrongs that have been done here, either to the military or to but the mechanism where we have to investigate, we have to fish out and then share intelligence with regards to those who are those who are behind the act of killing innocent lives, killing innocent civilians, and then even harming the men in uniform needs to be looked at. What are the modalities that the army has with regards to reporting incidents such as this? We need to look at that. Now, if not, then it means this is going to be a new norm, where in the event where a man in uniform is harmed, then you are assured, or you're best to get a reactive response such as this. This goes against the human rights of every citizen. It affects our global peace index, okay? Because then you talk about we dropping from 51 to 55, which is not good. So then there should be a mechanism where the army would take to find out, investigate, collaborate with the sister security agencies, and then collaborate and find out those who are behind this, and then move in directly to arrest these perpetrators, than to go to house, then you go house to house, you don't even know who you're picking up. So at the end of the day, you may pick up innocent people. And Alfred, let me sound this, because this is where people harbor hate, they harbor anger, and then are easily radicalized. This is one of the ways people are radicalized, because then they deem or see the state security approaches as not protecting them, but rather harming them, and they harbor these ill feelings, and they are easily radicalized. And that's not good. So we need to really look at the approach with regards to how our men in uniform respond to such issues. I think it's getting out of hand. It's becoming very, very worrying. I remember when the incident in the war happened, I called for investigations to be conducted as to find out who were those behind what happened. Right. And I'll call for investigations again to find out what exactly happened, so that we can get the right people. For all you know, the right people the people who perpetrated this may not even have been captured as they were going house to house.
Well, earlier, in all these instances, when these things happen, the military indicate that they take action, they punish these people. Just to get the public confidence, is it about time you would recommend that the punishment be made public as to what measures have been taken to punish these officers who are involved in such acts of brutality?
Yes, so the military is a sensitive institution where the rules are applied strictly, and you may not always get the results with regards to what they're coming out with the punishments they've given out to personnel who are found guilty. You may not have it. In instances where it is directed with regards to executive order or whatever, commission of inquiry, then you may likely get some information with regards to that.
Right.
But after this, now you won't have any information when it comes to what has been meted out with regards to sanctions against the soldiers who are found to have gone against the regulations. That is the issue. So if we want to go that tangent, then it means we have to open up and we have to call for inquiries as to whatever happened, and then we get to know what exactly is happening. And they wouldn't want to expose too much with regards to their internal affairs, and that opens them up for what sort of like scrutiny, which is not too good, because their mandate in defending and protecting the territorial, space of the country, you wouldn't want such an institution also to be opened up,
right,
to public scrutiny, and then it will cause a lot of issues.
I appreciate you for this. Dr. Victor Doke is a lecturer at the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, security analyst on this. But stay with us here on Ghana Tonight. There's a lot more to come. It's coming up next. The arrested suspect in connection with the killing of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale has been charged with murder, but his lawyers are fighting back this charge, describing it as shambolic. We have more on this, including a hearing from the family of Ahmed Suale as to how they are taking all of this on the things unfolding right now. 35-year-old businessman Daniel Owusu-Kranting has been remanded by the Medina District Court for the murder of investigative journalist Ahmed Suale, who was killed in 2019. Prosecution indicated that the suspect sold the photographs of Ahmed Suale to the Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy, Japan. Now, the lawyer for the accused, Kofi Esel Hackman, describes the charge against his client as frivolous, shambolic. Take a look.
What transpired is that the police hurriedly put a charge sheet together. A charge sheet on an offense of murder. First, we're talking about abatement. Today, we sprung up with a surprise charge sheet with one count of murder. And they prayed the court to remand our client. They have nothing on our client. It's just a multitude of suspicions and allegations and hearsays that have been put together. And the law never crystallized any evidence. It is just for someone's career to shoot up and someone else to go down. And that's what they are doing. It's just mere witch hunting.
Let's stay on this matter, because the persons who have also, not just the general public, the persons who are directly affected by all the happenings is the family of Ahmed Suale. Dr. Mustafa Idrisu is the spokesperson for the late Ahmed Suale's family, joining us on the telephone right now. Dr. Mustafa Idrisu, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Now, how's the family taking all of this, the new turn of events, after having to wait for almost, 6 years? Now there's a suspect who's been arrested in police custody and the court hearing today. How are you dealing with this?
Yeah, so good evening to you and good evening to your viewers. As a family, I mean, if you have been waiting for something and that thing happens to come to you at a time that you are not even expecting it, you need to be very happy. So the family is happy that at least for the first time since 2019, just around the same March, something positive has come up. A suspect has been arrested, so the family is happy about that.
I see. Now, the court proceedings earlier today captured the prosecution making the point that Ahmed Suale had at some point mentioned the name of this suspect as also one that is alleged to have sold his pictures to Kennedy Agyapong. Does the family have any records of this?
As a family, we leave some of these things with the prosecutors and the Ghana Police Service. They have much more information than what the family has. Whatever information we have given it out to the prosecutors. And since the matter is in court, we don't want to preempt anything, because immediately we also start to go to air and we start talking about the kind of information we have, then we are going to jeopardize the investigation. So we'll leave this one at that.
I see, but during this long wait with very little detail as to the investigation, and we're all asking questions as to what the update was, until just this last 3 days, we got this information of this suspect being arrested. How has the family been coping?
Yeah, it's been anxiety. I mean, from one point to the other, everybody has been very, very anxious, just trying to look at what is going to happen next. Because anytime you meet the police CID, they tell you that they are having investigations, and then that when they get any information, they will let us know. So we've been anxious to get to this particular point, and we are glad that at least the anxiety would come down. Once a suspect has been arrested, the anxiety would definitely come down. But over the period, the family has been very anxious.
Today in court, you had the lawyer for the suspect, and we just played that video describing the charge of murder against his client as frivolous and shambolic. You know, and I'm sure as a family, you were there in court. How did you take all this?
You know, at the end of the day, a lawyer would want to defend his client. So we take this as a defense mechanism. The prosecutors will do their work. The lawyer too will do their work. The judge will listen to the two parties. And at the end of the day, a judgment will come out of that. It is not for us as a family to determine the kind of charges that the prosecutors are going to put across. They know the law, they understand the law, we do not. And for that matter, it is their duty. So definitely, I don't think anybody would expect the lawyer for the accused person to come out and say that the charge sheet was a very good one. He's not going to praise the prosecutors. He's going to come out with a defense mechanism. So whatever he is saying is a defense mechanism. So he's defending his client. And he has to make it against the prosecutors. The prosecutors know what they are doing. I believe so. I believe they know what they are doing. And that is how come they presented such a charge sheet.
Well, Dr. Mustapha Idris, I appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us. I know that this case hasn't been adjourned to April 1. That's the next hearing. So we definitely will get back to you on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Mustapha Idris speaks for Ahmed Suale, the late Ahmed Suale's family. These are the timelines, major dates of this case over the last almost 6 years. January 16, 2019, this incident happened, was shot. Ahmed Suale was shot by an unidentified motorbike assailant in Medina. January 17, that same year, the next day, the Ghana Police Service formed a 13-member committee to investigate. Suale's family accused Kennedy Agyapong of inciting the murder, which Kennedy Agyapong has consistently denied. Why? The reason being what he did on television, the Net2 TV, putting Ahmed Suale's pictures on the screen prior to his murder. February 19, 2019, the Director General of the CID, Tiwaa Addo-Danquah, at the time, reported significant progress in the case, though no details were provided. March 29, 2021, the former IGP met with the Attorney General regarding this unresolved homicides, including Ahmed Suale's case, received the CID report. 2021, same year, July 2027, the Attorney General, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, was in Parliament. He indicated that no prosecutable docket had been submitted and noted he's going to follow up with the IGP then, James Opombueno. And this particular expression of no prosecutable docket being made available has been consistent, because in February 2024, 5 years after the murder, the Attorney General reiterated that same position, that no prosecutable dossier had been presented. And then we're talking about just some 3 days ago, Daniel Osu-Kranting, a former associate at the Taga IPI, arrested upon return from the UK after previously evading police summons. So that's what it is. Now, earlier today on 3FM 92.7, I spoke to the lawyer for the accused. That's Daniel Osu-Kranting. That's a Kofi SL Hackman. He indicated why he described the charge of murder against his client as shambolic. Take a look.
Let's paint a picture. Someone says, I have evidence. You see, the facts of the charge sheet says he has given pictures. That's what they say. They claim. It's just on an allegation for now. We leave it in the realms of allegations. Then you come back and charge him with murder, wherein you didn't see him at the crime scene. You don't have any murder weapon. You haven't connected him in any way to anything. All you say is he gave pictures, and then the pictures have resulted in a murder of somebody, and you charge him with murder. And then you know the elements of murder. So I don't know where. That's why I said it's shambolic. That's why I described it as being shambolic. I won't show them their work, but then it's quite bizarre that they come on that score just to get a remand, just to make it sensational by throwing just charge at him, murder. I mean, they should know better. The people who just arraign him before the court. And then it's not a small charge, and it's not a small offense too. And that there are steps to be taken. If you are not ready, you don't come asking for remand in such instance when its investigation is supposed to be in perpetuity with the state's resources. You curtail someone's independence at the incompetence or the shortfall of the state's investigative machinery. He's a citizen of Ghana, and he should be deemed innocent, not deemed guilty. That is not what the Constitution, Article 19 says. Otherwise, we are presuming guilt on him right now. That presumption of guilt on him. He's a media person. Ahmed is a media person. My heart goes out to the family, the wife and the children. But that doesn't mean a young man should just take a fall for this.
As Kofi SL there says his client is taking a fall for this, but this is a matter that's playing out in court. April 1, the case will be heard again. We will be there in court. We're back shortly after this quick break because the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Kofi, has announced the revocation of small-scale mining licenses issued after December 7. What does this mean in the fight against illegal mining? Stay with us. We're back shortly. Come back. This is Ghana Tonight. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofeboa, has announced the revocation of all small-scale mining licenses issued after the December 7 election. Now, citing irregularities in the issuance process. He was speaking at a press conference earlier today. Take a look.
We announced at the beginning, when I took office, I went to Parliament and announced that 9 of our forest reserves were completely taken over by thugs who are destroying our forest. I'm proud to tell you, with the cooperation of the security agencies, the military, we have taken back 7 of these 9 forest reserves. And we are working very hard to make sure that the other 2 is completely also. So we are close to taking over our forest reserves.
The minister there. So, as he indicated earlier, 9 forest reserves had been totally taken over by illegal miners. Forest Commission officials couldn't even have access to it. He says 7 out of the 9 have been taken over and taken away from the illegal miners. That's not the only one. The total land site destroyed by Galamsey is over 5,100 hectares. That's according to the minister himself. And some of the forest reserves under siege. So the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve, Tano Amian Forest Reserve, Tiwaa Forest, as we do know it. And so clearly, it's a big issue. I'm talking about all of these 288 forest reserves in this country, and those that have been affected so far by illegal miners and their work, some 44 of them. Now, you heard the minister also talk about the licenses that are going to be revoked, those issued after December 7. Now, we went onto the mining repository website. That's a public site that you watching can visit. Just go on Google, type Ghana Mining Repository. You'll find the details of how many licenses were issued over a period. So this is what we got to see. This is the mining repository site. If you go there, this is the interface that you're going to see. And the last, active licenses, 2,230, and then we have over 15,000 applications in processing based on what is on the site. Now, this is the breakdown as our research desk, Weiss, Safo, and the team put that together. Total licenses issued, some in average of 5 in a day, at least, calculating from December 7 to date, 397 of them. Now, small-scale mining licenses make up 55. The large-scale mining, the leases make up 8, and then the support services licenses, class A, B, and C, make up 334. That's what we're talking about when it comes to this, the effect of this directive and how this will be carried out, or the number of licenses we're talking about that could be affected by this particular pronouncement by the minister. And Daryl Bosu is the Deputy Director of Arocha, Ghana, and he's joining us on the telephone. Daryl, I mean, hearing the minister talk about the revocation of licenses issued after December 7, and then also the reclamation of these 7 out of 9 forest reserves taking over totally by illegal miners. Sure, this comes as some exciting news for you, is it not?
And thanks a lot. Exactly, yes. So I think it's very, very good to hear the Honorable Minister talk about steps they are taking already, and in particular related to revocation of some small-scale mining licenses. So, I mean, I think it's very good steps, very good early steps, and we need to see more of this done. I mean, the issue is not just about small-scale mining licenses that need to be revoked, but also large-scale mining concessions that were also given in a very inappropriate way. All of these need to be looked at. Now, on the matter of forest reserves that have been reclaimed, I think the term is more about repossession, because from what we understand, these forest reserves had been taken over by illegal miners, and so it was becoming very difficult for the Forest Commission staff to even do their work. So now that we see that the ministry is taking steps to get all of these guys out, it's definitely good news for the forest reserves.
I see. But then again, there's a bigger issue, is it not, when it comes to clamping down on the illegal miners as we have it. We've just been showing videos of some forest reserves in the Western North region that have also been affected by illegal mining activities. Now, the minister 2 days ago inaugurated these forest guards, over 400 of them being trained. And you are not enthused about it? Why?
Well, I think, Alfred, there is more to be done. And at these early stages, and even though we expected the ministry to have done more, we can also acknowledge that they really had to confront a very huge task ahead of them. Taking office, I mean, looking at the mess that was done by the previous administration, this government has a lot to do. So some of these measures, we want to give them credit for it, but I think that there's more that needs to be done. Like you said, there is still a lot of incursions into our forest reserves, and we need to see more action than we are seeing now. Just going after miners in several forest reserves is not enough. We know places like Tiwaa Forest where people are busy on a daily basis encroaching in and doing illegal activities. Nobody is apprehending all of these people. So I think the ministry needs to prepare itself to cover more ground. Now, on the matter of the river guards, I know it comes on the back of the Blue Water Initiative. As we all know, the current state of our rivers is not conducive for all of us, and so taking steps to make sure that these water bodies are wholesome, the water bodies have been restored to the original state, is very, very important for all of us. But the manner in which we go about it is also very important, and that's why we are saying that, look, if there is any resources to deploy in addressing the menace of Galamsey around our river bodies, we need to be challenging it more to looking at how we can restore the enforcement and compliance unit of the value chain. Otherwise, we are going to be wasting a lot of resources. Now, if we say that these people are going to serve as whistleblowers, as we have heard the minister say, the community people are already playing that role. So there's no need to duplicate this effort and rather channel efforts or resources to areas that is more needed. As we know, the rapid response team of the forestry commission need more resources to protect our forest reserves. The police are not sufficiently resourced to respond totally to the complaints coming from communities. And I think this is where we should be focusing our attention and not really setting up river guards who are not really going to do anything and who will still need the support of the law enforcement agencies to be able to do their work. So in actual fact, nothing new is going to be done.
Well, Darryl, appreciate your time on this, and I thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Sorry, it's Darryl Bosso, Executive Director of the Arocha Ghana, and one of the foremost CSOs in the environment space as we have it in this country. There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. And thank you so much for staying with us here on Ghana Tonight. As always, proudly brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, and Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Happy Smile. I am Alfred Ocansey. Join the New Day team tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and do have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you